direction, and success way beyond what we ever previously thought possible. Here's your host, Frankie Lee.
Welcome back to the Frankie Lee podcast. Guys, I've been promising you for a long time to get the highest vibe, biggest potential guests the world has ever seen on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to deliver that. And today is no different. We have the man himself, the double platinum, the man who's played Tomorrowland, played Ultra Music Festival. He's dropped beats and bars all over the world in the biggest scenes. Mr. Will Sparks, welcome to the show.
I wouldn't rather be anywhere else right now. We've had such a good time already, even off the camera.
It was hyped, wasn't it? It was hyped.
But we've still got a lot left in the tank.
Mate, we've still got a lot left to tank, but I reckon we've probably done about... we've got it on the GoPro, but like we've done probably about 30 minutes of proper...
real talk.
We honestly... like
we're here to do real talk today, and there's going to be nothing but truth spoken, and hopefully we educate and can inspire.
Educate, inspire. Mate, I'm just hyped to have you here, mate. I really buzz. As soon as I saw you play at a festival, and as soon as I kind of, I had this, I thought, I see the energy of you on a stage playing, and I thought, I want to know this guy's truth. I want to get the realness out of this guy, but on a podcast terminology. Like I'd seen the energy on stage, but I wanted that to translate in a podcast.
I'm a human.
Yeah.
So like,
100%.
I want to tell the truth and be my authentic self. I feel I can't on social media because of wanting to keep the peace. I want to be me, but it's hard to put yourself out there. It's a big confidence thing, because Will Sparks is my real name.
Yeah.
But Will Sparks, the artist, is a different person to the real person who I am. Because when I get up on stage, I'm a different person. And don't get me wrong, that's my favourite person up on that stage. Because I become someone else, and I just feel so...
euphoric. You feel euphoric.
Yeah, it is.
I've seen
it's like natural euphoria.
It's like you vibe at a whole different level, because it's like you're living your alter ego.
That's my alter ego, and that's how people perceive me as. They don't know the real Will Sparks and what I go through, and the life struggles like everyone goes through.
And I think that's one of the things that people see, especially on social media, is especially looking at you, it's like, what is your social media? To me, your social media is like, okay, you playing at a festival, you playing at the Skyscape thing in Melbourne, dropping beats through lockdown, you doing multi-platinum, double platinum records, collaborating with artists, recording tunes, and you going to the gym. That's what people see of you on social media. Yeah. But there's so much more to Will Sparks than just that.
Yeah, and there's a lot more that's interesting to Will Sparks than that, but that's what I write off. I write off making new music, exciting people with, IDs, which are like songs that aren't out yet, and I'm playing them live, and the reaction of it, and the way I dance and jump around on stage, and the hype energy, people like to see it.
The way you wear the headphones across the eyes.
Yeah. Cyclops. I've claimed that now, but that was Axwell. Anyway, mate, it's who I am. I've got so much more to give, and I know I do, but I'm almost afraid to put it out there because I don't want to, upset anyone, or people want consistency. They follow me because they like to see me on stage doing my thing, or there's no sort of organic content I put out, which I would want to.
But you've got to be in one of the top 50 DJs in the world and producers because of what you've done.
And things are working, right?
And things are working.
It works.
And things are working. But I'm telling you now, polarizing Will Sparks, the Will Sparks that comes out and says, and comes out in his true authentic self, which is Will Sparks the artist and Will Sparks the person.
I want people to know me as the person.
Yeah, but once those two correlate, you're not telling me that you're not going to take it to a whole new fucking level.
Where else can I go?
Yeah, exactly.
Am I going to lose all my fans if I just be myself?
Well, here's something that happens though when you do start to move towards being more and more yourself and not an alter ego and not a perception that other people have got and an outdated perception.
Yeah.
Right. Here's what happens: you polarize people one way or another way. It's like people will either say, I fucking love what Frankie does, or I fucking hate what Frankie does. I don't give a fuck which one it is, because you're still potentially in the zone of talking about me, right? Same with you. It's like if you're just sat there right in the middle and you're already like where you are, I'm like, fuck me, polarize, bro. Because if you polarize, then you can't but not go to a different fucking level, because the people that love you will love you even more, because now they're like, fuck, this is so good because he is.
I was polarized at the start.
Yeah,
I was actually that. You either love me or you hate me. Because this new sound,
this new Melbourne Bounce was out.
All the labels that was getting put on it, a lot of it was quite sonically not great in terms of the quality of the productions. Because I was just starting, it wasn't the best production.
Mate, guess what? My first podcast wasn't the best podcast. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing.
You got to start somewhere, and I was very inexperienced with production. I only just started, and I made a big record. That's the one that got my career going, and it didn't sound amazing, but it had the idea there, and people hated it or loved it. And that's when I was polarized, and I used to get a lot of hate, which I had to get used to, but I'm used to that. So I can handle that shit,
Yeah.
So I can become polarized again. But when it started to just become easy and everything works, and now we're structured and we're keeping the peace, everyone's happy, I just kept that wheel rolling.
But this isn't. But here's the thing.
Now there's
right?
no hate. I don't get any hate.
Yeah, but if you're not like,
you need
it, bro. You need a little bit. You need, bro. Honestly,
and it's good.
It's like
you say.
It's like what? Look, we both know where you go 12 months from now if you just fucking.
I'm actually fucking excited.
Yeah, I'm fucking excited.
You've inspired me, just speaking to you before about all of this. You've inspired me just to go, you know what, fuck it.
Why? It's just when we spoke before this podcast, I just thought, how fucking amazing is it that here's a guy that's achieved so much already, but now he's worried about what this person thinks or what this person thinks, and I'm just
still searching.
And I'm just like, why the fuck do you care about other people's opinions, positive or negative? Because you don't even. Neither one matters. Like, you don't need to take the positive personally. You don't need to take the negative personally. You just be you, and everything else can just fucking work itself out. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't need.
Yeah, I believe in me, my craft, and what I do, but self-belief, personal self-belief, is where I struggle, and it's something that I'm working at, and something I'm really addressing now. I try and speak to my peers, my colleagues, about how I feel, and it's kind of hard to let it out. And
because for fear of judgment.
Yeah, that's it.
But mate, I'm telling you now, there's a lot of people listening to this podcast like, fucking, how real is this? Is this Will Sparks? Like, how real is he? Because you're being authentic. Yeah. It's like you're talking about real fucking shit, mate. Yeah. Like you're not over here telling me, we're not talking about. Look, we could do a podcast where we talk about your latest drop or this or that or this. And
how did you start?
And we will go into a bit of your journey and all that stuff, and that will come out. But like, this is about real fucking shit. Yeah. It's like, when you put out that real stuff, you'd be surprised at how many people are like, do you know what, fair fucking play, because it takes balls, mate. It takes balls to come on here and say, you know what, for years I've DJ'd on confidence, and now I need to really address that self-belief, because once you get that self-belief, it doesn't matter, the positive or negative doesn't matter. That it's like, that's a total fugazi, mate. Like, there's no.
I love that, fugazi.
It's just fugazi, mate. It doesn't mean anything. If someone could message me today and say, Frankie, you've got the best podcast in the world. Yeah, thank you. Someone could message me today and say, Frankie, you're the biggest, baldest bastard that I've ever seen in my life, and I just say thank you too, because it's like, who cares? Yeah. Like, either opinion doesn't matter to me. Like, because I'm gonna just be here. And I'm just here, and I'm vibing off talking to Will Sparks, and hopefully you're vibing off talking to me, and we're having a good conversation that's changing other people's lives because they're changing their perception of how they should think about themselves. Yeah. So that's all that matters.
It's just, and it's the way you react.
100%.
It's all within how you perceive things, and the way you react hurts yourself. And if you just don't give a fuck, it's going to be okay.
And I can already see, like, from the moment I met you in the lobby, until now, you're already lighter, mate. On your shoulders are dropped. You're already lighter because I can see it in you, and I don't know. I just feel that. I just feel like something's fucking changed in Will Sparks. Like I'm serious.
I'm relaxed.
Yeah. Now let's just go into a bit of your journey, because I want people to get a real understanding of.
If someone's probably listening to this, who the hell is this bloke?
Who's the hell Will Sparks? No. I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they've tuned in for you. But like at the end of the day, right? I think when it really started to pop for you years ago was when obviously you created this new flavor. It was a flavor between Dutch house and
Melbourne Underground,
and Melbourne Underground, and it created like this Melbourne bounce sound.
Yeah.
And then the first time you actually really popped, I believe, was when you dropped a track with Wiley. Is it?
Well, I dropped the instrumental of that track, which was called "Ah Yeah," and it was up online on SoundCloud for about 3 months before any label even picked it up, and a small label in Sydney said, yeah, we'll sign it. And because I was only 18, 19 at the time, I said yes to anything, right? I was a label's hitting me up, great. So they released it. All of a sudden it got traction across the world with David Guetta playing it. Laidback Luke got around it, then Laidback Luke started talking to me, and I was getting hit up on Twitter by these big DJs saying, send me more, what's this sound? And so they
were just in love with the flavour of what
they were like, this is different. And, I heard it, David Guetta play it at like Ultra or something on the main stage. Like,
that is mad.
It's just this kid in my bedroom that made this random ass song. And I already had a bit of a following in Melbourne at the local clubs, the local gigs. People actually used to come to see me play there. And so this was my breakthrough. And because I got that breakthrough, the international breakthrough out of Melbourne, I became the sort of forefront of the genre and the evolution of it. So, and it was great timing for me. There were guys in Melbourne that were creating unique sound years before me. I just took it to that level of main stage instead of club music.
You took it out of the community and gave it to the world. Yeah,
and those guys like Callus Smith and Stevie Mink, Heath Renata, there's so many guys. Joel Fletcher was the reason why I wanted to make music, because they made this sound I had never heard before, and I didn't understand why it wasn't so big. It was just within Melbourne.
Yeah, so
couldn't believe it.
So you had the foresight to see what it could be, but it was nowhere even close at the time.
No, and I was so obsessed with it and so in love with this sound. I was like, why doesn't the rest of the world know this yet? And I went out and went, I need to make this, because I had ideas of what I wanted to do, and I did everything I could to master the program and work out how these guys make their music. And we'll get into it, but because there'll be a lot of young kids out there thinking, how the hell did you get noticed, right? And get your music even out there. And it was just me. I used to go out by myself, even when I was underage. I was like 17. I used to jump the back of a club to get in to see these DJs play and hear their music, because you couldn't hear it anywhere else. Like,
it wasn't as big as
people weren't even taking stories.
Yeah, so because that type of social media wasn't even available at that point.
So I was going there just to hear the songs, and I'd sit there by myself, and I ended up, going up to them and being like, I love everything you do. I love your music. I love, how do you do it?
Were you asking them to break it down, how they mix tracks, how they...
Not straight up. I just befriended them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to overstep and be like, oh, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Can I come watch you produce a song?
Yeah.
Just I'm around. Hey, guys.
Step by step.
Every week I keep coming back consistently, saying hello, being nice.
So you started showing up.
And because of the love and the passion I had for it. And out of that, I made some of the best friends of my life. And they're like Joel and Sammy James and JDG, all these guys that really helped me work out how to create the sound I wanted to. I used to sit in their studio because we were friends. I already knew my way around the program and doing things, but they took me to the next level by going, check this out. And then once YouTube and stuff started evolving too, that's when I really got into the technical side.
I suppose that's the thing that everyone has at their advantage today, is the fact that you can go onto YouTube and you can practically learn anything you want. And it kind of people think that there's loads of barriers to entry on for different things and different topics, but I just don't think that those barriers exist anymore. I just think that's one thing that's like left in people's heads rather than it's not the truth. And people have that. We all do this. We all tend to lie to ourselves about every reason why we can't do something, and there's no reason why someone
because you don't love it enough.
Yeah, 100%.
I was not good at anything at school. I was a sport guy.
Yeah.
Academically, just behind. I stayed down a year, right?
Yeah.
And the program I use and everything about it is so complex, man. It's like flying a plane when you first look at it.
What program is it?
It's called Ableton.
Right. Okay.
And when you can't even teach it. Like, you can teach how to navigate the program and how to work with things and different techniques on how to and modulating sound and designing sound, right? But it's very complex.
It sounds all about how you feel
how you react,
how you feel about that sound in that moment, and you as an artist are probably trying to feel that feeling that you get when that sound drops, and then think, fuck, that's going to resonate with the audience, so I'm going to drop that, right?
Yeah, but do you know what it is? It's me knowing what sound works with another sound and what I want to do to that sound to make it the way I want it to sound.
Yeah.
I know I'm saying sound a lot, but it's all about sound.
Yeah.
And like the tiniest little things, if I hear a certain sample, or when I'm designing a lead, and everything I'm tweaking to make it the way I want it to sound, and then putting it with something else, and even all the effects that come in, and then the percussion and the way the low end and all the frequencies work together. If that works for me, I've got something else that no one else has, right?
Yeah.
It's the same with every producer. They feel that works with that, so that's how it becomes.
See, and do you know what? And I can tell how passionate you are about the sound and the mix and how they intertwine. Yeah. And how it vibes. Like you light up at a different level, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I was listening to your playlist, that the one you did at the Sky,
yeah.
one of the ones you did at Sky in Melbourne, where you do the Overlook,
the live stream.
Yeah, the live streams. Your live streams must have given so much life to people in Melbourne during lockdown. Like, that would have been unbelievable, because I was mate, it's literally a 10-minute drive from less than 10 minutes over the bridge and across the road to the gym where I train at. Yeah. When I put your sound on, mate, I'm fucking hyped by the time.
Your heart's pumping.
But yeah, because you, I don't know what frequency you're playing that at, and I presume it's some wild frequency that just, but it just gets me like this, like, yeah.
Well, imagine creating it.
Yeah.
I am pumping.
While
I'm doing it, I am so high, and like my chest is full, and I'm just so excited. Yeah, and I jump around like an idiot, but
isn't it
the best feeling ever? That's when I'm most happy. That's my purpose.
Yeah. And when you see your purpose, when you're playing your purpose at a festival and you seeing it light up 10,000 people, that must give you the biggest fucking
see. This is where you
high
need.
It's had.
So high, right?
Yeah,
and it's so high in adrenaline, and the feeling of me standing up there and spreading my arms and just screaming to the crowd and to myself internally. It's so extreme, and on the peak of the limiter.
Yeah,
I am when I'm not doing that. That's where it's hard.
Yeah,
because even when I'm not making music, what's my purpose?
And when I speak to a lot of high performance people like yourself that are performing at a high level in sport or in DJing or in anything else or in business and this, that, and the other, it's the same with me. Like, there's nothing that gets me as high as podcasting, mate.
Yeah. You're G right now.
Mate, I fucking love this, man.
But when you're not podcasting, you have to deal with it.
I have to remember the work that goes in to get this moment. Like, look how much work goes into even booking you on the podcast to get you here, to make sure that happens. Do you know what I mean? Look at, how much work goes in, but not a lot of other people do, right? They just think, you just ring them up and you get them on. Like, there's a lot more. There's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot more because it's not just about getting just any old person on. It's about people like, do you think do you think you can offer them value? Do you think they can offer the audience value? Do you think you can make them vibe at a high frequency? Do you think you two can vibe on a different level and create something good? Because when you're creating music and you're talking about creating that, I think of the sound and the way that a podcast pops, right? And now there's nothing worse that, and I've seen this in podcasts, like where there's a person interviewing another person, and they're both, you can tell.
I've heard one before, man, and it's bad.
Yeah, and they don't, you know how they don't.
You need to have a high frequency, a spiritual energy.
You need to connect, bro.
Yeah.
You need to connect. Otherwise, it's like pushing shit up fucking hill.
Yeah.
And that goes for everything in life, though.
Yeah.
I'm just using it as an analogy to what you've got with music and what I've got with podcasting is the analogy to life.
It's the same.
It's like you've got their whole purpose, and everyone who listens to this, their whole purpose in life is to find out what that is to them. Do you know what I mean? That's as simple as it is.
Oh, it's funny because it's such a purpose for us to being happy. Like even human connection, that's one of your values. You know, human connection, and bouncing off someone else.
100%.
You need people around you. I've worked out in my career that you need some people to push you. You got to have people around you. You can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, open up to your community and have good people around you. I've been so lucky to have a good team around me.
Yeah,
you know, my manager, he's just, I can't say a bad word about him. And he's just does the right thing by everyone at all times.
And when you've got someone who's steadying the ship and steering you in the right direction, that's the kind of value that you need that person to have.
Man, and I honestly rely on him as well. Like, sometimes I get worried because I'm like, what would I have done without him? And how am I going to keep going without him? He books my shows. He makes sure my schedule is all works out properly. The finances, like, I don't really have to do anything but play the show and make the music, right?
But here's the thing. That's great because your magic happens in playing the show and making the music. Yeah, there's no magic for you in booking shows.
No, that's right. And there's the magic for him. He's a businessman.
He loves that.
He loves that.
That's his purpose.
Yeah.
He vibes off booking Will Sparks into whatever festival he's playing at. That's what he vibes off. So he's best doing that. You're best the only way that Will Sparks serves the world the best, in my opinion, is like, make fucking banging music, put out banging music.
Yeah.
Make banging music, put out banging music.
That's it. And sometimes I feel I need some more control in the business side of things because I'm just so play good shows, make banging music. And sometimes I get a little bit a sense of no purpose during the week because, you know, everyone's working 9 to 5 or you know, doing their purpose, it takes up a lot of their time. Man, I could sit on the couch for 3 months straight and do nothing.
Yeah.
I've got so much music. That's why I've got so much music all the time because I'm always wanting a purpose. Yeah. Always making new music.
And there's nothing wrong with because there's no point. There's literally no point in life in sitting on the couch for 3 months.
But I could do that.
Yeah.
I go to the gym once, twice a day, 6 times a week, you know, and that is almost...
But that's a good release. That's a good release.
Everything for me, man. If I didn't do that, I don't know how my mental state would be. Because being on a plane and being on the road for so long as I did without much time off ever for 8 years straight.
Because this is probably the most time you've ever had off.
I'm loving my life, man. This is all those years looking at the back of some fucking seat, you know.
Yeah.
Now I am in the position where I can just be home and be present.
Yeah.
Because for so many years, Frank, I was fucking depressed on that plane. Yeah. Even though the shows were sick.
So what show? So let's just. I just want to so that people understand.
Sorry, that was heavy. Yeah.
No. People, I want people to understand what. No. I want that heavy shit. But like, what? Tell me a time when you was going towards a show, like an exact show. Tell me a time where you felt like that and why you felt like that in that moment to you.
So, I'm in my 20s, early 20s. I'm missing out on all my mates' 21sts and any sort of event or, you know, I was losing connection with the people I love back home because I was away for so long. I'm a very loving sort of person and, you know, I got a lot of love to give and I wasn't able to find a companion.
Yeah.
And all the external shit and having to deal with people recognizing you, and after a show getting photos with people, there was no authentic conversation or organic connections.
Because people
know me.
Yeah, because people were just like wanting to get a photo with you for their benefit or wanting to serve their purpose, but they were adding no value to your life at that point.
No, but I was always very appreciative, and I still don't understand it, you know? I don't give myself enough credit. I'm like, oh, why do you want to get a photo with me? Why?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because
I'm just me.
You don't really realise what you've done.
No, and I still don't, and I just need to.
But that's something like self-love.
Yeah,
that's some self-love stuff.
And I'm working it.
Because 100%. And
now I've got the time to do it though.
Yeah, you've had the time off now to have the time to sit there and think and be like,
analyze myself.
Yeah,
instead of being on the go constantly.
Yeah.
So those times when I was on the go for so long, I would just sit there on the plane. It was so hard. I don't want to talk about the struggle because it's such a good lifestyle.
Talk about it. No, but be real.
Yeah, I want to be. It was really hard, and playing all these gigs, all the pressure on them, and the lack of sleep. I know people talk about this, you know, lack of sleep, touring, fucking whatever, you know, no food, shitty hotels. I didn't make money for a few years touring, trying to get my name out there. So there was a lot of slogging. But I did it all and I sacrificed it to get to where I am now. And I'm glad I did it, but it was fucked.
Yeah.
Like mentally straining, and the jet lag, and I mean, living away from home for so long, and just every night going to bed during the week going 3 more weeks or 2 more months.
And people can't understand this when this is your because on one degree you've got this is your passion, but then on the other degree people think you're like, oh, he's moaned about doing his passion.
Yeah.
But you're not. What you're saying is like there needs to be a balance to this as well.
Yeah, I didn't have balance for years.
Yeah.
And I finally broke down 6 years into my touring career, or 7 years.
Yeah.
I went, I'm going home, fuck this. And I did it.
Yeah.
And I've never felt so good in my life.
So where were you when that happened?
I was in Asia. I was doing 9 shows in 12 days.
Right.
All in different cities in China.
Fucking
I got to 4 days straight in a row. And that was after a 4-month tour in Europe, right?
Yeah.
On the way home, you got to do 10 gigs in 9 days or 12 gigs in 9 days. I was like, wait, other way around. 9 gigs in 12 days. And I went, okay. You're getting paid this much. Yeah. So I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. Because you're thinking about cash flow. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, the Chinese gigs, they're a hard crowd. They really are. Because
what makes them so hard as a crowd? Do you reckon?
I think it's because
cultural difference.
No, it's more they're there with their friends. I didn't feel as though they were there for me. Right.
Right. Okay.
They're just going to the club and there's a DJ playing.
Yeah.
Like back in the day.
So they don't. What you're saying is in that environment, you probably weren't as well known.
I'm the shittest DJ, right? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
A DJ is meant to read a crowd. I still do that, but you can't. I'm not going to go if someone comes up. And
you can't read a Chinese crowd, can you?
Not really. I say that in a sort of way. I don't mean I'm the shittest DJ in that way, but like if someone came up and said play Taylor Swift, I couldn't do it. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not a party DJ, or
you're not a requests guy.
No, that's what I mean by shittest DJ. I play my music and I'm there to play what I do.
Yeah.
And that's my passion.
Yeah. And 100% you should always stay to that because that's you.
That's me.
That's
and I've
you.
never done that. I actually lost my residency in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because some person that was high up in something was in the booth and they requested a hip hop song. And I looked over at him and I looked at the manager and I went, I don't have any hip hop.
Yeah.
I only had my music, right? And
why would you have hip hop? It's not even your flavour.
That's right. But in Vegas, people
got money.
A lot of money.
People
they come
throw
up,
money, yeah.
They were literally, I'm pretty sure people have been paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think Deadmau5 got paid $100,000 or something.
To change the song.
To change one song. And Deadmau5 on his laptop because he's just he's the king. Right, I'll call him that.
Yeah.
And he just looked it up on his laptop, dragged it over, and played it.
Yeah, but but I get what you're saying, but I know it's $100,000, but like, but you got to.
I wasn't getting paid $100,000 though.
Yeah. I know it's $100,000, but I just don't think. But when you're already getting paid good money, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What's another $100,000?
Nothing.
And to ruin your whole fucking set.
Yeah.
But you're the one that has to come down off that energy peak and then go into your room. And yeah, you got 100 G's, but you must think to yourself, "Fuck! I've literally just sold my soul for 100 G's." I couldn't. It's like a boxer, right? Being told to throw a fight for $100,000. Yeah, that might be $100,000, but it's like he's got his feeling of self-worth, and he's trained his whole life, and he's being paid to fall over. Like, I remember, I remember, right? So Roy Jones, phenomenally, one of the best fighters that's ever lived, right? Came over here to fight Danny Green, and he was paid to fall over. And
that still happens today,
yeah, right. And the Australian public were going wild. Danny Green beats Roy Jones Jr. No, he fucking didn't. Roy Jones Jr. beat himself. And do you know what? As you imagine me as a fan of boxing, watching and knowing that Roy Jones has fell over on purpose because I can see it in his fucking eyes, right?
And everyone knows that.
and everyone knew it, There's not a chance in a whole month of Sundays that Danny Green could beat Roy Jones Jr. Like,
how does Danny feel about that?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So Danny Green's, there's nothing wrong with Danny Green. He's a great bloke. He's a great boxer in his own right. Roy Jones, but you think about it. You've got people that have paid to watch it. They're cheated. You've got Danny Green must feel like fucking terrible because he knows in his own heart he has to go to bed at night thinking, like he's been paid to fall over. Easy. You got Roy Jones Jr. who's got one of the best legacies in the game. Was cheated out of a medal at the Olympics and gone through all that and doesn't like being cheated, but yet cheated thousands of people out of a real fight. So you work out the mechanics. There's no winner. No. The money doesn't make fuck all difference. The
person winning are the people that are corrupting it.
Yeah.
This has been going on for years in boxing.
Yeah. But that's the same feeling that you get. You must get when you're offered that much money to change one track. It's like it's pretty soul.
Going against your soul.
It's going against. It's not. It's going against your purpose, and probably would make you feel so much less of a DJ as a producer because
that's why I didn't do it, man. I looked at them. I'm like, that ain't me. I'm not going to go against what I do and be someone else. And to anyone listening, and especially obviously DJs out there, if you like playing party music and seeing the reaction of everyone at the party, that's you, man. That's what you do. Good. Keep doing that. But if you're a young producer and you like playing your music, fucking play your music. Don't let some club manager tell you, oh, you can't play that.
Yeah.
No, you got to play hip-hop. You got to play commercial. You can't play that. If you genuinely believe that your stuff's good and people are going to react to it,
stand by it.
Like, that is how I did it. I never played anything else but what I wanted to play. And you know what, man? It reacted. So the managers, they didn't even have to tell me not to play this and play commercial. I played what I played, and I always have. So when I said back in the podcast, I'm actually the shittest DJ, I meant I just play what I want to play instead of jukeboxing. Yeah,
but the thing is, if you are a DJ out there and you take requests, you're never going to be a top DJ.
No.
Right?
No.
Simple as that.
If they're happy with that, that's fine. If they just enjoy DJing good.
But the highest you're going to get in DJing, if you take requests, is you're going to play weddings, you're going to play clubs, and that's it. You will never get anywhere beyond that. And you and I both know that.
100%.
That's a fact, bro.
That is a fact.
It's a fact.
It is. And if you've got a belief that you want to be up on the main stages, then you need to genuinely believe you can do it and have something in your head. People ask me what inspires you, and I used to say nothing, no one, myself, what I think about. Because in my head, before I even make a song, I'll think about the sound in my head.
Yeah,
in my head. So like, I've got the sound in my head.
You're imagining it.
I'm imagining the sound, and then I put it on paper in a sense and get as close as possible to whatever was playing in my head and even the rhythm of it. So I'll get my phone out and I'll record the rhythm of the lead and the way it's going to sound, and even the.
So when you say record the rhythm, is that like go?
Nah, that's more beatboxing.
Yeah.
Nah, I'll be like.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to get into this mindset. So how do you record I'm just interested in how you record the rhythm. Like,
so, do you want to make a song right now?
Yeah, let's make a song.
All right.
So hold on. Before we do it, right? This is the first time on the Frankie Lee podcast that we have made a track, right? Okay. So get your phone out. Stick your fucking phone light on in your car. Start swaying side to side because
I'll probably make this.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's make a track.
All right. So in my head, I've got a sort of like a saw trumpet sound. Right?
Go on then.
And I guess it's kind of it's quite simple. So it'll go bam bam. Isn't that easy, right?
Yeah.
Bam 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 bam, and then you go off that.
Yeah.
Bam bam bam.
But
it's more complex than that. But if you want to go into a melodic sort of thing, so I'd be like da da dun 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 da da dun, or
yeah,
that sounds like something already.
Yeah,
and then I'll realize that, and I'll change the notes, or I'll go, fuck.
See,
I'm stumped.
No.
Dun dun dun.
Feel it, bro. Feel it.
Da da dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Like you can dead it in forever,
and then that gives you an outline, and then you put a drop in.
Literally, like my song Vienna, right? I'd go dun 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 dun, and then I made the chords off that, which changed it all as well, and even Stand By Me.
Do you know what I think we do? I think we have to do this. I think we have to do the Frankie Lee Times Will Sparks podcast intro beat.
Original mix.
We need to do a beat. That for
I've actually made a few intros for podcasts.
But not like this. You haven't. Not like this. You haven't, because this one's going to vibe at a different level. I'm telling you now. You could fuck the other
whatever
podcast.
We just recorded was one of the worst ones.
Yeah.
I'm quite embarrassed about that, but anyway.
But I just wanted people to understand about how you're even like everyone. There's no one listening to this thinking you're going to just pop out a hit track on this podcast. But what you're showing people is like it starts at like almost the caveman level of creativity. It's like you and a thought and a fucking recording device.
You can't force it.
Yeah, which is what we've tried to do on here.
We've just tried to force it.
We've just tried to force it.
You need to feel it.
And you need to feel it, 100%.
And it has to come to you.
100%.
It just comes to you. Sometimes it comes to me like a light bulb, literally, and I'll go, quick, my phone, quickly, remember it, and then I'll go off and do it.
And because I grew up listening to like grime and that kind of stuff, as soon as you said drop a beat, I'm like... I'm like, it was all a dream.
It's actually the way grime artists and rappers do it as well. They will just start mumbling gibberish, but in the way they want it to sound.
So how did you? So give us a bit of an understanding of how the Wiley thing came about. Like,
I've never spoken a word to him.
Never.
No. It's labels. Labels go, this needs a top line. I need a top line. Who's a good artist to do it? Wiley.
Really?
And
that was it.
He just rapped over it. And Ellen Levon, who I've met a few times, we've actually done a few shows together. She was the one singing on it.
Yeah. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because do you remember that beat that went viral on TikTok that Chris Brown lifted off that New Zealand guy? I know it's a different flavour.
I know the one.
Yeah.
How good?
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I can't really.
But I can't remember exactly how it went as well. But like I remember seeing that the guy in New Zealand that created the beat that Chris Brown had a #1 hit record with didn't get paid.
Yeah, that's the music industry. It sucks. There's not a lot of people don't look out for the young guys, the small guys. They just want to. They use and abuse. They do, and it's fucking horrible.
So give us a bit of an insight then into how these people on the come up
don't sign anything.
Yeah,
no, and just because someone like Chris Brown or a big agency wants it, get a lawyer, man. Read over every term. You deserve the publishing. you also deserve, royalties and anything because you made that song.
Yeah.
Don't sign your life away. I nearly did it, man. I nearly signed a management deal which was 50% either way, which is horrendous.
50%
cut
of all
off the
earnings off your profit.
Gross.
Yeah. Fuck.
So if I went and did a tour
Yeah.
and it made, say, $400,000,
Yeah.
right?
200 straight.
Flights and accommodation, right?
Yeah.
That takes off another probably 20% or more, 30%. So it goes down 100,000, so that's 300,000. And then agent fees, 15%. That goes down however much more.
Yeah.
And then 50%. Hold on. 50% before agent fees. On top of that. So, sorry, 400,000, right? I have 200,000.
Yeah.
Then I have to pay 100,000 in flights and accommodation. So that's 100,000 left for me. And then the 15% agency as well off the 400. So that's, God, do the math for me, Frankie. Another 40,000 or something, and then tax. So it just,
it's
like I was gonna get absolutely fucked, and I'm so close to doing it because they were a big agency.
Yeah, and were they big in Australia or big globally?
Globally.
Yeah,
and I nearly did it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing I ever did.
But
so,
there's a even when some artists do get absolutely annihilated like that, that it seems to be like something that happens to them in order to show them a new path, and then they go and blow up some other way anyway. In a lot of cases,
yeah, the music does the talking in the end. If it's
good, if you're good enough, it's good
gonna
enough.
happen.
It's going to happen for you. Yeah, 100%. I believe that.
And
that's why I don't get too entwined in the analytics.
No,
do you know what I mean?
It is business, and I hate the business.
Yeah,
side of things.
That's it.
I always do 50% with my collaborations, no matter who they are, how big they are. If it's a kid that's never even made a song before, I'll still give him 50% of the profits.
Because you know how you felt when it wasn't happening to you. You felt cheated, and it kind of
felt cheated so many times.
It taints you when you love the genre, when you love what you do. It taints you if you don't live authentically and pay these people.
And you know what? The word "it's just business" is gonna be gone soon. That bullshit word, "it's just business." That's such a load of crap, man. Yeah,
because it's an energy exchange. It's people. Do you know what I mean? It's people at the end of the day. It
needs to be fair. Do things in life fairly, and you're going to have a great life. Yeah, I feel the ones that do things fairly and don't cut the corners or slip through the cracks and stuff someone else over, we end up having a way better life.
You just want to go through life adding as much value to people's lives as you can.
Yeah.
And then, as a byproduct of you adding value to other people's lives, as far as I'm concerned,
the universe rewards you.
The universe will pay you back. You don't have to worry about chasing dollar signs and trying to chase things that don't light you up. It's like, if it lights you up, and if you can help other people with it, then just help other people with it. Don't try and charge a clip. Don't try and charge this. Just give it. If someone DMs you and says to you, "Hey mate, I've got this beat," and
if it's good, I'll bloody work on it.
Yeah, if it's
if
good,
I like it for me.
If you like it and you see value in the mutual exchange, you'll do it, right?
100%.
Same. If someone says to me, "Frankie, how do you start a podcast tomorrow?" I'm going to give them the best advice I can give them at that time from what I know about the game. And I'm not going to hold anything back, and I'm not going to fucking charge you for it. It just is what it is. I'll try my best. You know what I mean? That's it. And that's all you got to do. And then people will reciprocate further down the track, and it'll be what it is.
Yeah. Life is about learning, though. And the lessons that you learn along the way, you've learned a lot of lessons with your podcasting. It took you a while to get the setup you did, and work out what not to do. And it's the same with me. You can't tell every individual exactly what not to do and what to do. They got to figure it out a lot for themselves. But if anything ever happened that's bad in your life, you just got to know it's for a reason. Yeah. Like everything bad that's happened to me has been the biggest reason for it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's amazing. And we might put a clip together of me and you before the podcast, but it's amazing, isn't it, how we worked out the reasoning today? Do you know what I mean? How impactful was it? When things happen for a reason, don't they?
Dude.
Like between me and you, like that's just that I was so hyped because I just like it just all came apparent. It was just it's a mad vibe, wasn't there?
Something's guiding us, man.
Yeah, 100%.
And you need to trust it. especially when something goes wrong, you need to trust that it's happening for a reason. And today we met up for a reason, and can't tell you how much you've helped me in my own personal things that I'm going through.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Just from a quick little a book or a quote or anything.
But that's just if you're listening to this podcast, the one thing that I personally want to tell you right now is just try and help people as much as you can help people. Like, I'm not telling you to go and sell your soul to help every man and his dog, but if you can give someone something, or you can give someone a perspective that may just change something in their life, to take them to a whole different spectrum, then just give them that information, because that is
why not?
Yeah, why
what have you got to lose?
Why hold that back?
Especially if it's a positive thing,
yeah,
or a negative.
Sometimes you have to. Sometimes when you have to tell people the truth, you are gonna have to tell them something that maybe they don't want to hear, but maybe they need to hear it.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody should be afraid of doing that.
No, and that's something you said to me. Like, stop trying to keep the peace with everyone. Just be yourself, because don't worry about what people are going to think of you. Stop trying to. Yeah, it's just a statement.
It's just to see someone like yourself that's already achieved so much,
and that's what I go through as well. I look at myself and I go, "You've already achieved so much. You've done so many good things. Why can't you just?"
I'm just saying, give yourself a fucking break.
I know.
Right, for a start. One thing I said to you is, give yourself a fucking break. Have the understanding of what you've previously done and this, that, and the other. Obviously, don't die. I'm not telling you to go and dine out on the fact that you've done what you've done. I'm just telling you to understand that don't go and fucking celebrate what you've done.
No,
but understand it.
I need to.
And then fucking relax. Take all this pressure off yourself and just. Like I just said to you, just be yourself, and if you want to fucking post fucking you in the gym lifting weights, but that's not.
I don't post that ever.
But if you want to, fucking post it, because that's the real Will Sparks. If you want to do that, and if you want to post you at a cafe,
like, how's this? This is my actual thought process. If I post a photo of me posing in front of a mirror or something from all the hard work I've done over 8 years of training 6 days a week,
yep.
All I think about are those people that are gonna attack me.
But this is,
or cringe at me.
Yeah, but
which I cringe at myself.
But that's an internal issue within inside yourself.
Exactly right, and I'm learning that.
That's not an outside perspective.
No.
That's about you learning to be comfortable with yourself as a man, and you instilling self-belief within yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about anyone else, because my opinion doesn't matter a fuck, and neither does fucking Tracy's down the road. Like, to be honest, if Will Sparks wants to fucking post himself in a mirror on Instagram or on Facebook or email it to his fucking fans as a fucking email, if you, mate,
you know what's funny? I see other guys do it, and I don't. Yeah. And they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And they love it. And I wish I'm going to get there where... And that's not just posting photos like that, but everything I do, just any old thing I get worried about putting out there.
Okay. Let me put it to you this way, right? The self-belief that you have as a man in regards to you won't play someone else's track for $100,000. That self-belief, that certainty.
I didn't get offered the $100,000, by the way.
No, but I'm just saying to you, that certainty that you have in that moment where you won't veer off the track to play another track. That certainty needs to transfer across the whole of your life in other aspects of your life, and I think that's probably the best way to describe it from me sitting here. I might think of another analogy and give it to you after the podcast, but it's like, you don't need to fucking worry about anyone else's opinion of you, because people will always have an opinion of you,
no matter what,
no matter what you do. But the reason why this is so good for people to hear is the fact that, mate, I've had doubts within myself before many times,
and everyone listening has.
So let me give you the biggest fucking doubts that a man like me has in his life, right? You imagine this, right? You see yourself getting a receding hairline at 16 years old, right? You think to yourself, I was a man that was confident man, right? I'm start to go bald. I start to lose my confidence because of this. And then people like my dad are like, Frankie, you don't need to operate on confidence. You operate on self-belief, because self-belief can't be shattered and confidence is shattered. So if you put all your confidence in your hairline, for argument's sake, you're doomed. And basically, if I put all my confidence in my hairline as me being able to talk to them and have a conversation with people in whatever, because I've got good hair, it's like, mate, what are you fucking talking about? That's a confidence issue, right? So what I tell people is all the time, it's like, don't try and instill confidence within yourself. Just work on self-belief, because you can't shatter self-belief, but you'll always smash confidence. Like if you see a confident guy in the gym who's pigeon-chested, who's walking around like that, if you tell him about himself or shoot him down about something, you see them wilt like a little flower, because a lot of them have worked on the confidence, but they've not worked on the self-belief behind that and believing in what they do. And that is where I think a lot of people can really take something from.
Yeah, because it's such a tiny, small thing. I don't even look at you and think he's bald.
No. But when you first go bald, I didn't even go bald. I still had hair. But what I'm saying is, I made the decision to shave it off, and I embrace this look now, and I'm comfortable with how I feel about it, mate. I'd never want hair back, even if you fucking gave it to me.
Yeah, right, good.
Because I love being different. But when I first went there, it was such a big shock to me that it's like, fuck, like, has this, will I be able? I literally had this question in my head. Does that mean I can't have a girlfriend?
Oh,
like, do you know what I mean? Because I was a young lad.
Yeah, when you're young.
And you feel that, and it's like, I'm just being honest with the audience, mate. I'm just telling the authentic truth, because that's always what I do. This isn't a question and answer podcast. This is like real talk. I didn't know we were going to turn up and go into this today. I didn't have a fucking clue, because
real talk,
because it's real shit.
Yeah.
But like that's where I was like, and I'm thankful for like people like my dad and people like James Gray, who was a previous mentor of mine, have said, like, you need to instill that self-belief within yourself and create that, because once you create that in one aspect of your life and transfer it into another and into another and into another. So in answer to what you were saying, is like, you've got that within your music and within your you're resolute in what you do. You're resolute in the beats that you make.
Absolutely.
All you have to do is take that resoluteness and transfer it into every aspect of your life, and then you will not have to give a fuck about what anyone else thinks about any other aspect, because resolute Will Sparks posts what he wants. Resolute Will Sparks says what he wants. Resolute Will Sparks does this. Resolute Will Sparks does that. And you don't have to fucking overthink all this other fucking fugazi bullshit that you have to go through. And if I can give you anything today, I'll give you that.
That's everything, because I can really resonate with what you're saying with the whole belief, like in my music, and then putting it into myself, because I know what it's like to really believe. You've already felt it. You can. When I tell you about the belief in your music, you can feel that. Yeah, fuck yeah. So you know what that feels like. So if you know what that feels like, you can then transfer that energy and feel that in other areas of your life. And when you feel that in other areas of your life, and you convince yourself, and you instill that in yourself, and you vibe it and you feel it, that's when you start to become the man that's more and more and more and more at peace, that's leveling up and leveling up and leveling up and leveling up. And then you're not telling me that on the back of all that, the biggest track of your fucking life gets dropped and it just fucking goes boom. Do you know what I mean? You're not telling me that doesn't happen. Of course it fucking does, because energy works like that. Definitely. And I've gotten to a time in my career where I'm just releasing music. Yep, one next week, the next 4 weeks, another one. All right, another one. It's just kind of chasing my tail sort of thing. Yeah. Nothing is going, whoa. Some are getting great reactions and good streams, and but it's not like another, I don't know, world-renowning song. Yeah, but that's because that to me is like, you have a breakthrough song and then you just follow it up. Forever. You know what I mean? One-hit wonder, they say, but I don't believe I've been a one-hit wonder. I've constantly evolved. You constantly follow up, and you're putting out good shit. Yeah. You're putting out good shit. Give yourself credit for that. I am, yeah. But like, if that next song that really pops, reaches the world, that reaches where I know you want it to go, is all about that's the rediscovery of Will Sparks outside the music.
that makes that happen. Because when you're fully at peace with everything else, and you fully know, that's when you're going to be so relaxed. Something's going to come to you, and you might be in the shower one morning, and that beat might come into your head, and that beat be like, fucking hell, and then bum, 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 you know, and it's like pop, and it's like that's it, happens, that's it, that's the track, that's it, boom. It's amazing, but it's all energy, bro. It's all energy,
and like, the more you believe, the more it's gonna happen. So I'm working on it, and things don't happen overnight, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna get there.
How long you been in DJ now?
10 years plus.
10 years, exactly. And this is this is another thing I want people to understand. You've been in the game 10 fucking years, right? People, just give people an insight into before that track with Wiley. How many years were you grinding in your bedroom of your mum's house?
At least 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Flat out. I was 16, just trying to work out the program, and I was up all night and going to school that day, sleeping at school because I'd make music all night. It was the only time I could do it.
Yeah.
And I just loved it so much, and I was so eager to get that sound I wanted to make. I didn't give it wasn't a hustle for me. I didn't see it as I'm hustling, I'm grinding.
Doesn't
I'm
feel like a job,
there.
does it?
It wasn't like that. It was like, I'm just doing it because I love it. I'll labour for the rest of my life as long as I can make music. It's not about the money.
Yeah.
The first time I got paid for a gig was $30, and I didn't even want to take it. I was like, I didn't do anything. Yeah,
because you felt that if you took money for your love, it takes it away from it?
Yeah,
is that how you felt?
Yeah. But then it started coming in more and more, and it was, fuck man, it was an amazing life to live as a 19-year-old kid.
What was do you remember the first day you got a life-changing amount of money from one little thing?
I got $1,000 for a gig.
Yeah, and that was like when you jaw drop moment.
That's when I went home to mum and I said, "Have a look at this." And it was a proud...
What gig was it?
It was, I think it was a gig at Billboard, or I was doing a live gig with Alex Flea at the time, Alex Jones. He was a rapper on Chemical Energy.
Yeah.
And we started promoting our live set as $1,000. And Luke, my manager, he's the one that said, this is how much it's going to cost you to have him play live with Will. Yeah. Because it was the biggest song in Melbourne.
Yeah.
It was a crazy time, man, and we got flat out booked for it, and I saved up like 20 grand, and I couldn't believe it. And it's just, the best part was showing mum that she did the right thing by saying, I don't have to do year 12. If you're good at it.
So what you're saying is your mum backed you?
Yeah, she did. We were in a principal's office, and they were basically asking me to leave, and mum looked at me and said, no matter what happens, Will, you're going to be all right.
I love that. I love that your mum was self-aware enough to know that this is my son's passion. He's going to be fine. Yeah. I don't have to worry about this.
She saw how much I loved it, and she's an artist. She's a painter, and she's the most successful woman I know.
So she's made a success from her painting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she's really...
So she understood the feeling then.
Yeah, she understands
the creative flair.
Creative side of things. You don't need
That's beautiful, that is.
Yeah.
That's some fucking beautiful shit, man. Yeah. Credit to your mum.
Oh, I owe her everything. She's told me that it's going to be fine, and your talent will
shine through. Yeah.
And
100%.
It fucking did. And then when I started getting paid even more, and tours started happening, all the recognition. Mum has always been my biggest fan, and she's always believed in everything I've done. So,
isn't it a fantastic feeling when family members like that just understand what you're trying to achieve on a bigger scale? Like, do you know what I mean? And really,
I feel sorry for the ones that don't understand. Yeah, I was lucky, man.
There's so many kids out there, so many people out there battling.
Get a real job.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Battling. Because they're around their family so much, there can be a lot of family members that are negative on you. You people listening to this might have a negative mum, a negative dad, or someone that keeps them inside their box, right? But it's only when you step outside the box, and it's only when you do that and commit to doing that for you that the growth happens.
Yeah, and make sure you remind yourself that you're worthy and what you're doing. And if you love it, man, if you love whatever craft you're creating, if it's in whatever field. If you love it, man, someone else is going to love it.
100%.
Get that?
100%. Because it's like it's like this, mate. I love this conversation. I love the fact of how real it is. And I'm like, well, fuck it. If I love it and I'm vibing so high on being here, then other people will resonate with it.
Yeah, the people listening.
Because because some people might have turned it off after 5 minutes because they don't get us. Other people will still be listening right this second, thinking, "Fuck, I don't want this to end because I'm getting so much out of it." And it's just like, you're doing the basically what I'm trying to say is you're doing the world a disservice if you don't try and find that.
I've been doing the world a disservice for years because I haven't been my authentic self to the public and educated people. I've done it personally when people ask me questions in meet and greets.
Yeah.
I am my real
but
self.
But the public facing.
And they're always so surprised at the way I react to a stranger on the street that comes up to me. They don't understand that I'm so open with them.
Yeah.
And I ask them how they're going because I can see it in their eyes that something's going on. You know,
I look at people like example on social media. Elliot, right?
He's real.
He's real as fuck.
Fucking oath.
He's real as fuck, mate. He's
credit.
You know what I mean? Look at him and look at everything he's done. The beats, the tracks he's written.
He's been around forever, man.
He's been around forever. He's done the hard yards. He's a fucking wicked bloke. He loves his kids. He puts that on social media. He loves his wife. He puts it on social media. He loves memes. He puts them on social media. Like he just everything that is truly authentic with himself that he values, he puts out. Do you know what I mean? It's like he puts out his workout if he wants to put out his work. This is
something I've noticed with Elliot, man. He just puts it out and he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a fucking shit.
Actually,
look at how people react to it though. They fucking love it because it's real.
Yeah, and that's why he's still standing, being one of the most.
How long has he been around? I'd say probably about 18 years.
And he's still so relevant, man.
So fucking relevant, mate.
You see these artists come and go.
He was an OG, mate. He was an OG. I remember seeing him, even like years after he'd first been on the scene, I remember seeing him rapping the Nando's Chicken song with Ed Sheeran outside of I think it was in Bethnal Green in London or something like that. Like, it's like
if you had a conversation with this guy one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like you think on social media he seems open. Well, man, if you have a real conversation one-on-one,
mate, I'll
get on the podcast, Al.
Yeah. Mate, I'm hoping you can. I'm hoping you can. This podcast.
I'll send him a message.
Yeah, send him a fucking message and say, mate, if you've not been on the Frankie D podcast, mate, you're missing out. But no, he said to me, he actually said to me he's up for doing it. Like, he's actually said to me, but like,
wouldn't put it past.
But I don't like when it comes to booking guests and that, until they're on the sofa, they're not on the sofa. You know what I mean? Until they're in the zone, they're not in the zone. Do you know what I mean? Because but mate, it's like the other week, I got so hyped when we was meant to do that podcast. I was so fucking buzzed, mate. And then when I found out she was in Melbourne, I was like, that's a little bit of a crash. And I had to like, you know, get myself hyped again. And then not for today. I was already fucking hyped again. Boom, boom, boom. But part of your mind's thinking, fuck, what if it doesn't happen? But like, you can't go there. You know what I mean? You got to, but then boom.
It's all happening now.
It's all happening.
Even before we got on together, like I found, like, because I don't know you personally, so it's daunting, isn't it?
Yeah.
The comfort zone is everything. You got to step out of it and just do it. Like, go jump in a cold pool.
But you know who you're going to vibe with and who you're not going to vibe with.
You know,
like,
instantly.
Yeah,
and that's
the thing. That's the thing, and I'm pleased that today you leave here with the fact of, you know, I think you're going to be 20 more times more authentic with your own self today after leaving here than you were when you came in.
Completely. You've done a massive thing for me personally, and I'm sure that's so
it makes
fulfilling.
It makes my day fulfilling.
It's fulfilled.
It's fulfilling because what else if I couldn't ask you the questions of yourself that needed to be asked, then I shouldn't be someone who's going to be in your life anyway. Do you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like,
everyone listening, think about all the people around you, right? They're around you because for a reason, right?
Yeah. Because they ask questions. Because the two reasons, I think. One, they're probably adding something bad to your life, or one, they're asking more of yourself than you're asking of yourself.
Yeah.
There's only two ways you're going, isn't there? Really,
Yeah.
like when you break it down.
And that's the thing. Like even with family, like they're blood, so they could be doing a lot of worse for your life.
There's so many people that I've personally met in life that have to step away from their mum or their dad. That is literally like a negative.
Forward.
Yeah, to be honest,
and it's the brutal truth.
It's
you
hard.
can keep them in your life, right?
Yeah,
but at an arm's length. You just say, look, you don't understand what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm going to do it anyway. If you're an adult, you don't have to listen anymore to what they like. Even with teachers, or even I don't listen. I never listen to my teachers.
Have you noticed something about teachers though?
Oh, fucking hell.
The problem with teachers, and there's nothing wrong with being a teacher, but like a lot of teachers are teaching. Like you look at primary school, like teachers are teaching like 3, 4, 5, 6 topics. They're not an expert in any of them, but they're teaching you.
It was hell for me.
Yeah.
I was so.
Yeah, I feel that.
I was fucking
soul destroyed,
sniped.
Yeah,
and they used to tell all the other teachers, you know, it was mortifying what I went through as a kid at primary school. They used to single me out, tell everyone. I got sent out of the class once, and the principal walked in, and I heard him say, "Don't hang out with him. Don't if you're around him, you're not going to get anywhere in life."
Yeah, yeah.
And seriously, I wanted to actually start a sort of charity or group of kids that are wrong done by at school by teachers, because it's their word against yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've had some of the worst things said to me by teachers, and when I went and told my mum or told the principal, they wouldn't believe me because they said no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucked up?
But so can I'll give you?
Sorry, to all the good teachers out there though, you're doing good.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Mate, there are people that are out there trying to do great work.
They're great teachers. I had some great teachers.
I had some good teachers at school that really helped me, but like I was always one of them disruptive kids, I suppose you could call it, because not because I wanted to go out there and fucking light shit up, but because I just wasn't truly interested in what they were trying to teach me.
Me either. I'm like, sorry, I actually don't care. Like, I once rocked up to do an assignment or a PowerPoint presentation. I got up and said, "Hey guys, I have no interest in what we're doing. I have done no work on it. I'm going to sit back down and I'm not going to give a fuck." Right? And the teacher was mortified. "You're going to come back tomorrow, Will, and you're going to do it." So what did I do? I went back home and I mastered it. And on the next day, I smashed it, and I said, because I was forced to do it, I guess, but I still no impact in my life or progression.
Yeah. But let me give you an example of me entering secondary school, right? And this might be a thing that pops for a lot of people. So when I went to secondary school, the first day, so year 7 in the UK, so you're 11 years old. You walk into secondary school. Bearing in mind that is the biggest day of your that is the biggest day of your life, because you've just changed from a primary school to a secondary school. So you need to command the room. You need to have respect. You need to get into the right social circle. Otherwise, you are fucked. Right?
And we didn't even realize it at the time. And
you don't realize it, but looking back, that's it, right? So you imagine I turn up at school. There's like fucking 300 kids that are being inducted into my year at school. The head of the year at the time reads out fucking 2 or 3 names, of which I'm one of them.
Oh, no.
Right? Yeah? And in front of the whole fucking school year, announces that me and these 2 other lads, Kamal and Craig, are in the learning support group. And the only reason I was put in the learning support group is because my previous school said he's disruptive.
This is what happened to me, man, but not to that extent. That is fucked. What that school did to you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's how I've used it. I've used the energy of that. I was constantly so ever since that point, I thought, fuck, I've got to prove this, which have actually which actually motivated me massively through life, right?
Same.
But I did have to go back only as a couple of years ago and really fucking unpackage that and understand and not resent that anymore. Like in terms of, I don't resent it anymore. I think it's quite
best thing that probably ever happened.
Best thing, because it put a torch under my ass to do what I wanted to do, and you need that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is understand it, but don't hold it.
No,
because holding it is like, I remember it and I can talk about it now.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting angry about it like I used to. I used to get fucking angry about it. Like the audacity. I'm gonna like literally thought I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna slap this fucker. I'm gonna knock him out. Like this. I'm gonna like when I'm old enough, I'm gonna clean you out, mate. Like I'm gonna end you.
Yeah.
Like, because that's my mentality, right?
Yeah, right. Same.
But bitter. That's bitterness.
Yeah.
And you can't. And bitterness is not going to carry you to where you're going to get to.
No.
So use these things that have happened to you, to me, to other people listening to this podcast. Use these things that have happened to you, but also go back in life. Go back, journal about. I journal about a lot. I don't know if you do this, but I journal about a lot.
Yeah, me too.
And I just try and understand my triggers and really try and analyze them, and then put them to bed, because you got to understand. I looked at that with 11-year-old eyes and I was still pissed off about it the way that I looked at it as an 11-year-old when I was fucking 27, bro. Like that's how long I carried that pebble in my shoe. And I'm saying you don't have to, because you got to go back with the 27-year-old eyes, journal about it, understand it from someone else's point of view. Even if you don't want to, you have to, and then kind of be like, do you know what? It happened. I'm at peace about it. We've moved on. I actually did use that for a positive benefit.
You've proved yourself, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. I've used all of those experiences to get to where I am in life now. Just to not really show them in like a angry way. It was like that when I was in year 12.
When it first started.
After year 12, when I was 19, 20, when it started to pop off, I was literally walking around the area looking for teachers to be like, yeah, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, I just had that fire in me to do something good and do something great and different to everyone else, because I always knew I was different to everyone else, like you are, you know?
Yeah.
You were 3 in a whole school that got spoken about.
Yeah.
That means you are unique, right?
Yeah,
and I was unique as well.
Yeah,
I didn't know why all the other kids used to take shit from the teachers.
Yeah, I
just didn't.
I'm
not saying that you should. I mean, depends on who you are, but I was just so high in energy. People always ask me, where do you get your energy from? I've always had this high energy, just because you're on purpose, psycho mode.
Because you're on a clear path, and you there's nothing stopping you between you and the end of that path.
Yeah, and I turned it into a positive. It used to be a negative. As a child, I was.
Have you noticed how when people go to school, they try to dull you down to be like everyone else?
That's right.
And it's
because everyone's on the same curriculum.
Yeah. It's like how, just work this out for a moment. And I don't know whether some of you listening to this are doing uni or doing whatever you're doing, right? Or whether you're doing a course. But how can you ever fucking be in the exact same place and doing the exact same thing as someone else, like really in life? It's just a fucked concept, isn't it? Because you see,
you have to be different, all right? That's but
no, you don't have to be. You already fucking are.
That's right. That's what I mean. You need to let it out. Let out your unique.
People are taught when they're older that they have to be different, but then they're taught for the first 20 fucking years
they're
to
all the
fit
same.
in.
Yeah,
to fit in, to be the same, to match up to something else, to pick 5 subjects.
Fucking,
do you know what I mean?
That's what I think about, man. Like, there was nothing for me.
I just look back at it and I just have to laugh.
It's so funny.
Because it's like you're being taught. You're just basically being taught to be an employee that goes to a job that they fucking hate, turns up and do your thing. Because freedom of expression is what makes great entrepreneurs. It's what makes great business people. It's what makes great artists like yourself. It's what's made Elliot successful. It's what's going to make me successful. It's what's going to make other people successful. Whatever success is to you, that's what makes it. Personality, being your true authentic self. That's what makes it. Like, you got to have. It's so fucking important that if you're listening to this, that you recognize it. I was speaking to a friend the other day, and they were talking about doing this thing at uni, right? And they had to complete it because they've started it. And I'm like, no, you don't. Just because you start something doesn't mean you have to complete it.
If it's not for you, get out. You're wasting time.
But that's not entirely their fault because they've been indoctrinated into that way of thinking for a long time.
From school.
From school, from life, from work, from this, from that. It's like, why? How's about this for a fucked concept, right? 90% of the people that work in UK, Australia, start work at 9 and finish work at 5 o'clock.
No wonder there's traffic, mate.
Now you work out that concept, mate.
Dude.
You work out that concept. Like how
it's a rat race run by a government. It gets higher and higher.
But you're not telling me that all the work that happens in the world has to happen between 9 and 5. No. You've created some of your best tracks at fucking 2 in the morning.
Yeah. Honestly, I used to work from 11 o'clock at night till 7 in the morning when I was 18, 19. And the best, that's where I learnt everything and made my best music was in between those hours because, well, I was already on that, silly routine, DJ, what's it called? Sleep routine. But I felt when I was there doing it, I was like, no one else is awake right now. No one's working. I felt like I was the one doing something while everyone was asleep, sort of thing. Yeah. But people need to know that you're not just born. People think that you're not. Everyone's lucky to have their talent or their creative. Yeah. Everyone's fucking creative. Everyone, you're not creative.
Yeah, you are. Everyone is.
You need to dive in.
Yeah, you need to find out what that creative is to you. It's basically what you're saying, isn't it? Yeah.
Like if you're anything,
you're not born to be an accountant, is what he's trying to say.
No, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
You're not born like.
If you're really good at remembering shit, like I suck at remembering things.
Yeah. If you love being an accountant, no problem.
If you're good at numbers, be an accountant. That's your thing, man.
Yeah. If that vibes you, fucking right.
If that G's you up, it has to G you up because life is not about sitting there hating it. It's about getting G'd up and loving it.
Well, you can clearly identify if you hate your life if you're looking forward to a certain day of the week.
No, we're living for the weekends. I hate that.
If you're dreading a Monday and looking forward to a Friday, you need to reevaluate what you're doing,
brother. I don't know what day it is.
Mate,
I actually don't live by days.
So get this right. I walk in the gym this morning and everyone's like, it's a Labor Day. I'm like, what the fuck's a Labor Day? Like, it's a day off. I'm like, I don't know. I don't.
Public holidays. I don't know when they are.
I don't know when public holidays are. I don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about. Like,
and people are all away, and
so you're telling me that me and Sparksy here have turned up on a public holiday to drop some fucking fire. Just
do we give a shit? Do we have to not do it?
Do you know what I mean?
It's a public holiday, so we can't meet up and
do you know what I'm saying?
Work.
But like people literally said to me, "You're doing a podcast today." I'm like, "Yeah," like. But it's a public holiday. I'm like...
So you're meant to do fuck all.
I'm like, bruv.
Our work is 24/7.
Yeah.
If you love your work, it's 24/7.
100%.
It was 9 o'clock at night last night. I was sitting watching television and I got one of those things in my head and I just went and opened the computer and started writing shit.
Yeah,
I got nowhere and it sucked.
But mate...
But guess what? I'm going to go back to it.
But yeah, if it... The songs that pop though are never made in one.
No. I have to keep coming back, and once you have a fresh mind, fresh ears,
you refine it. Refine it. Yeah. Let me ask you a question then. Right? What motivates Will Sparks right now?
Creating something that makes me feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that lights you up.
Yeah, that lights me up. That makes me feel an emotion, which is. It could be a sad emotion. I could resonate it with whatever I'm going through. If I think about a crowd banging in a dark club, how do I want it to sound? If I'm that guy in the middle of the dance floor, what do I want to hear?
Yeah.
I always think about the person in the crowd.
Yeah.
Because that was me.
Do you have like a kind of avatar? Is it like a man who's 23?
I'm a fan.
Yeah, but is that fan? Is that fan in the crowd to you? Is that a girl who's like 18, just come clubbing for the first time and been indoctrinated into sound, or is your avatar a 23-year-old guy who's finished, who's had a long week at work and like just wants to come and let his hair down, or is it not that, or is it just, are you just looking at it from the perspective of all fans?
I think I always come back to it being me,
just being you
in the crowd.
Yeah, I like that.
I was in the crowd and I've seen some amazing artists doing incredible things, and inside I knew I had something to give. So I went out and did it. I did not do it. I didn't let anyone say you need to get a real job or you're not going to get anywhere with this, or what happens after music and DJing. That's what some people still ask me. What are you going to do after DJing though?
It's not going to finish, is it?
Mate, Tiesto is like 50 something.
Mate, yeah.
I'll keep going, man.
You don't finish. And I'm guilty of asking DJ Brooklyn that question. And when I asked it, I thought to myself, no. If this girl's on purpose, you don't need to ask her that question. I thought about it myself. I thought, mate, that's the wrong question.
That's all right.
Ask. That's the wrong. No, I'm not punishing myself for it. But I'm saying, after I I'm like, fuck me, man. Like, I get it. Like, because it's like, if people said to me, "Oh, when are you going to stop podcasting?" It's like, well, fuck me. Like,
you don't have to,
maybe when I'm 97, or maybe when I die. Like, because I just feel like this is it for me. Like, I found it. I enjoy it. I fucking love it. I'm going to have conversations. I want to share my conversations that I have with fucking people like you.
Yeah.
There's no point in me having a conversation with you, not recording it and not putting it out to the world.
Absolutely not. And to everyone out there, it's never too late to find what you actually want to do. If you're 45 years old and you're still trying to work it out, it's fine. Like, you're going to work it out.
Give yourself a break.
Give yourself a break. You need there's things you need to change to get yourself there. My sister, who I'm so proud of, she's 30 years old now, and she has only just started this platter business, right?
Yeah.
And she is an incredible artist. She's got all the talent from mum, right?
Yeah.
And she's such a hard worker, and she's creating these incredible platters. And what she does to make these platters and get the all the produce and the quirky things she's doing that no one else is doing, right?
Yeah.
It's just incredible, and it took
Shout
her
out
10
social
Platter
media.
Pantry is her
On Instagram?
Platter Pantry.
Platter Pantry. We'll put a link in the podcast notes.
Yeah.
Go and support her.
Yeah, she's in Melbourne, and man, what she does is incredible, and like no one else. And it took her years to find her feet. For 10 years, she watched her little brother be this successful DJ, going around the world, making heaps of money, doing this shit.
Not getting bitter at it.
Never.
Yeah.
Always my biggest fan, always happiest for me.
Yeah.
But she was still grinding away. She was trying to start clothing business, and then she was working at a car dealership and a cafe, and then she had moved to Perth with a partner at the time. And then, man, it was like, looking back, I feel so terrible because I wasn't around. I was away, and I wanted to be there for her, but now she's got it there, and there is not a person that deserves it more. And if you're a good person in life, good things are going to happen to you.
100%. And do you know what, right? I'd go as far to say is that most people inherently are good people in life.
Oh, man,
my
parents.
Most people are good people. It's just that people get disconnected with where they're going and what their kind of role is in a lot of things, and then can get taken down the wrong path, and money can lead to certain things, and drugs can lead to other things, and alcohol leads to something else.
I've seen so many people come and go in this industry for drugs.
So give us an insight.
It's everywhere.
Yeah,
drugs are everywhere in the clubs.
Is it?
When I first started, I didn't have a drink when I first started.
Yeah.
I drove myself to the 17 gigs I was playing a weekend because none of my mates wanted to come to 17 different venues from Friday to Sunday. And I'd play till 10 in the morning, 5 or 6 gigs on a Saturday night. I couldn't drink. I had to drive myself to each one of those gigs, get in, do my work, get out. I'd have to run across the road from Wawa to Billboard, and people were all assumed that I was on drugs to do it. But I was on the drug of music. And presenting my sound to the people and watching them react to it. That's what kept me going till 10 in the morning doing what I was doing. But I've seen so many kids and even guys that I looked up to that have been eaten by these hard drugs. Cocaine.
Talk to me about like people like Avicii, man.
Oh, man. Avicii, he was the most talented guy getting around. I don't know what he struggled with personally. I definitely know he had anxiety getting up on stage. And
did you two meet?
I've never met him personally. I did his tour in Australia. I think he was a very shut off kind of guy, very anxious sort of guy.
Yeah.
As I presume from his documentary. But I've heard a lot about him from colleagues that he worked with that turned out being my colleagues too. So I just think it got the better of him, the lifestyle, and all the pressure of getting up and playing and the touring. Yeah. It's hard fucking work. And
because he had banger after banger after banger after banger.
You have to be so mentally strong to become that big. The bigger you are, the more mentally strong you have to be with all the exposure, people recognizing you getting up, putting on a show, touring flat out. Like, I'm at a point where I'm good. I don't need to get, I'm not striving to get bigger than where I am. I really am. I'm really not. I'm pretty content. I'm happy.
So are you, does that happiness come from the fact then that you've now understand that you want to be around your family a bit more? You want to be you want to be a better partner. You want to be a better man outside of music, and then just let your music flow naturally.
I want to become more of a man because I've been so sort of babysat through my 20s.
Yeah,
everything's been done for me. If I wanted to buy a car, I need to buy a car. They do it for me.
Yeah.
If I want, flights, anything, I would just be sort of carried along the way. I just need to do the shows, make the music.
Yeah.
So when it comes to buying a house, I wouldn't know the first thing to do. I just call my bank managers and they work it out, do the contracts and write it up and whatever.
Yeah.
So I've been really, and I want to.
Sometimes that's not so good.
It's not so good for me internally.
Yeah.
I feel as though I'm not getting, I'm not being independent.
So when I bought my first property at like 19 years old, you kind of have to go through that yourself with obviously I went through it with my dad, but like it was a nice thing to share with my dad. Was
beautiful,
man. Was to like, right, this is what Frankie, this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna do, this is how this is gonna happen. It's like kind of a nice thing that we shared together. And I always remember when I bought my first sports car as well in the UK, I did that with my dad as well. Do you know what I mean? And just even thinking about it, that's a fucking beautiful thing. And and you just made me realise, it's actually making me tear up a little bit. It's like, fuck, when was the last time I did something like that with my dad? You know what I mean? Because I've been stuck down this lockdown for like 2 years. It's like I don't get the opportunity to connect with him, but I've got such a good relationship with my dad. You know what I mean? So like it is something. I understand what you're saying, because you need to do these things for you, because otherwise how. Like say you did a tour, right, and you earn fucking millions, right, and then you go and buy this. Your goal was to have an Audi R8, but then you outsourced the purchasing of that dream car that you dreamed of since you were a kid. You've outsourced it to some rider who's going to go and get that for you. It defeats the fucking object. Do you know what I mean? How do you feel what you've worked so hard to achieve in its full capacity if you just go and there it is? Do you know what I mean?
It is so unfulfilling. And when you buy that Audi R8, you drive it out of the dealership, you realise that it means absolute jack shit to your happiness. Did you know I bought one of them?
No, I didn't even know. Do you have one?
I bought an Audi R8. Is this serious? Have you done your research?
No. I've done bro. This is my research, but I didn't pull up the Audi R8. Are you serious?
I bought an Audi R8 at the end of last year.
I didn't. I'm going to tell you, honestly, God, I didn't have a fucking clue.
Are you kidding me?
Nah, I didn't have a clue. I was just using it as an example.
Are you ready for this?
Go for it.
Every time I got in that car, I felt unworthy, guilty. I felt like a show off. It wasn't me.
Right.
Every time I drove down the street in it, and I'd have every eye on me, and that's exactly what I don't want.
Was your number plate Sparks?
Could have been. No, it was, I don't know, W17 or something. And I'm not that guy,
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. So
what you're trying to say here is you spent your whole life, like not your whole life, but you spent
working towards this object
that and found out
that made me feel
so your ladder was leant against one wall. You climbed to the top of the ladder, then found out it was leant against the wrong wall, right?
Definitely. And I was just trying to put on this persona and have people perceive me in a certain way, because that's why people wear designer clothes, because they want people to look at them a certain way, like they've got money or something, Yeah. And
I just want to dress like respectably and feel good, but like I have no. I could have bought myself fucking Gucci trainers a lot of times over, right? But I'm just like,
I wear cotton on, dude.
Yeah, but it's like, what purpose does that serve? What part of my ego am I trying to serve here? Like, do you know what I mean?
It's obvious, man.
It's obviously I'm just looking look, if you buy that and you genuinely buy
Like the fit of it,
like the fit of it, or like it as
the
art,
look of it,
the art, if that's your,
yeah.
if you're buying it for that reason, cool, do that.
Cool. Yep, I agree.
But if you're buying it for a social aspect, so that you can go down Burley Pav and put on your fucking
Givenchy t-shirt,
and your Givenchy t-shirt, your Gucci shoes. And have your Louis Vuitton side piece bag and all that stuff. If you're buying that for that reason, you're in the wrong game.
Absolutely. Got it all wrong. And it's just, and for people like us, we look at those people and we sort of, if they're like that.
No, I don't.
There's no judgment.
We're not.
I feel for them though.
Yeah, but I feel that like they're kind of misaligned,
and they're trying to build up their confidence, which is okay as well, I guess.
Yeah,
that's their way of feeling good, getting and going out and being perceived. So, yeah, if that just fills that void, it's just filling a void. It's numbing.
Yeah, and I've spoken to a lot of people who live in this lifestyle,
and you attract other people like that.
And birds of a feather flock together.
That's exactly right.
There's a reason why me and you resonate on a different level, and there's a reason why me and you don't resonate with certain people that are probably along that level, because we just have a different realization on life. Like,
we've worked that part out.
Yeah, that's the part we have boxed off. I mean,
sure.
You're openly saying on this podcast that you want to take self-belief from your music into other areas of life. You're not trying to tell people that you have it all sorted out.
No, absolutely not.
But that one segment of life where you don't need to go and buy these ridiculously, outlandishly expensive pieces of clothing to fit in with a certain demographic of people,
I want less attention on me.
Yeah, 100%.
If anything, I sold the R8 6 months later.
Yeah.
I was so over.
Because the eyes that you get.
I try and park my car, man. I got people with their phone out filming, and it's like, I don't need that. I don't want that. I don't want... And, man, the amount of people that yelled wanker out to me as well, just actually ruined my days. And I was literally... My thing, because when I was a kid, I used to see a sports car and be like, wow.
Yeah.
And the guy in it would be this snobby looking, miserable prick.
And you found yourself becoming that.
I was a kid going, hey, to the car. And I wanted to be the guy in that car looking at the kid going, yeah, giving it a rev for him.
Yeah.
Do you want to even come have a look? I used to get kids and put them in with their families, and they'd be like, can we see the car? Get in it, man. Have a look. Hey, give it a rev. I wanted to be that guy, and that was the positive.
You wanted to have that R8 to share with others, but others were resenting you for having the R8.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So everything I do in life, I want to share it with someone, and that's when I met my girlfriend Brooke, who she saved everything for me. Wanting to share my life with someone, showing them the world, watching them, being like, look what I can do with
look
you.
What we can do
look
together.
What we can do together. Sorry, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I showed her around the world 2 or 3 times, and
that's beautiful though.
Built a life together, and
that's a beautiful thing, because you had the opportunity to take a good woman who was worth your time and was supporting you for you. You gave her the opportunity to see the world,
and that's all I wanted to do was share what I had with others. Because if you've just got it for yourself,
it's
empty.
Means
fuck all.
Empty.
It is such an empty feeling.
Empty, mate.
I sold the R8, and I've not missed it once.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, right? So, I remember at 20 years old driving a Ferrari for the first time, and I drove this Ferrari, and I thought, okay,
it was fun for a day.
Yeah, that's I can feel that. Okay, maybe I want one of those. And then I came to Australia, and I drove an Aston Martin from my mate's Aston Martin from here to Brisbane and back, because we were going to some event thing. And I'm in it, and I'm like, and this is a few years later down the track, and I'm like, man, like, I would buy one of these for my dad. Or I'd buy a nice car.
Watch them.
I want I realise now that I would, if I'm going to buy a sports car, I realise I don't want to buy it for me.
No.
I would like to buy it and give it to my dad and my mum, so that or my sister or something like that, I'd rather give it to them and watch them drive it, because that would give me more enjoyment.
100%.
Does that sound weird?
No, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, because I've been in a lot of sport. That's why I just drive a normal like Audi TT, bro, like just a normal car, because it's like it's a nice car. It's a nice
A to
car.
B, mate. That's all you need.
But and I just literally drive it a few k's here, a few k's there.
You'll be proud of me here. I drive a Land Rover Defender.
Yeah,
UK car.
Yeah. Fuck yeah,
They're
love it.
the best.
Mate, that thing will last for fucking 97 years.
But it's not a flashy thing. It is a unique car. But I'm actually obsessed with them for some reason. I am in love with that sort of car. Because I'm not looking at it for someone else to look at me in it.
Because as a car, it's some. I don't know if you realise this, but as a car, what is a Land Rover Defender designed to do? It's designed to last the test of time. You as a man want to last the test of time, right? That is why you resonate with that car, in my belief.
And you should see what I'm doing with it. I'm making it into this unstoppable, sort of people. Every person that sees it says, "Are you preparing for the zombie apocalypse?"
Yeah.
I've got an axe on the side. Like it's blacked out. Like this ridiculous tent on the top.
I'm gonna have a look at this car when I go downstairs.
Yeah, it's sick. I've got like. So much battery power in it. I've got like my own hot plates, drawers that come out of weird spots, water tank. I could keep going, man.
It's your project.
It's my project. It's actually given me purpose through COVID and, since I've stopped touring and stuff. But this is what I've always wanted to do, man, is be able to just be one within and not have to go away. COVID's been the best thing that ever happened.
So, Gymshark, the brand.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ben Francis and his business partner at the time, when Gymshark popped, they both bought R8s, right? They both bought R8s. They both found out the exact same thing that you found out. Yeah, they fucked them off. There's a guy in Gymshark, a real nice guy, who's like a chief brand officer. His name's Noel Mack. Nice guy. Started off as a videographer. He has like 1 or 2% of Gymshark now, right? Guess what car he has?
A Camry.
No, a Land Rover Defender, obviously. Like, do you know what I mean? But he does the exact same thing to his Land Rover. I watch him on Instagram.
It's like this obsession.
Bro, why are you not sharing on Instagram your Land Rover Defender?
Mate, I do. Do you even follow me?
Hey, I follow you on Instagram.
I've got a full highlights reel.
On a highlight reel, but not on the main posts.
I actually put it out, yeah. Main post.
Not on
the main post.
No.
That's the structure.
Yeah,
see?
Yeah, you see.
Fuck
mate, what are you talking about? Do I follow you? Of course I follow you. But it's not there, is it? That's
I just put it on my stories and then highlight it. And even when I'm doing that, I'm like, oh, people aren't going to want to see this shit.
Yeah, but that's not
it's
the
my
problem.
little passion, you know?
But that's your passion.
It is.
You should share it.
I can't wait to show you now.
Mate, I'm fucking pumped to see it.
Yeah.
Mate, you better take me around, drive around the block.
I know.
Yeah, 100%. Like
with all the tickets flapping off
with the axe.
I can't even put it in car parks. It's like 3 meters high. It's
really?
ridiculous.
Where have you parked it then?
Don't worry, I've got tickets.
Yeah, it's all good.
No one's towing that thing.
Mate, they can't even fucking tow it if they wanted to.
No, so I'm no worries here, mate.
Give us another insight into like some of the other pressures that you feel from this DJ lifestyle.
So I've got a certain standard, I guess. I need to keep up the music, and I always have and always do have music in the bank to go. Doing shows is daunting. I know my gigs and my the way I am and the way I perform is only getting better. My problem is now with COVID, having to keep that sort of relevance within one country. Because when I used to tour away for 4 months, I'd come back and it'd be exciting, you know?
Different flavours.
I'm back, new music, you know.
You've been around other artists at a high level, and you can all take a little bit away about what someone else is doing.
Yeah. So that's the only pressure I have on myself. I sometimes ask my people, what am I going to play this time? You know, do I need to make a brand new intro again because I played in Queensland only two months ago? But really, it's going to be a whole different crowd. It's not going to be everyone the same people as the last show I did here. So, but I'm always changing my shit, and that's why I've evolved so much, I think. But that is a struggle. The only other struggle, man, like I'm not a A grade. I don't even see myself as a fucking F grade celebrity, right?
Yeah.
But I do get recognised, and especially like at footy events, or I mean, not footy. I'm saying that because I went to the footy last week in Melbourne and had these people behind me just giving me shit the whole game, you know, like yelling abuse and being annoying, being assholes. Right?
That's an internal issue.
Oh, that's completely on them.
That's completely like you can point 6 fingers at you and then 6 point back at you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and if you give them a reaction, it's only going to get worse. And they're giving them what they want, and I know they're just a bunch of
soulless.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't like. My girlfriend said to me last night, "Come to the Burleigh Pavilion. It's so packed, though." Like, as much as I like running into people and running into like a fan or something, I hate walking into a place and having people staring or pointing and then a photo happens. And when I get a photo with someone and the flash goes off, other people are looking. Who's that guy? What's he do?
You don't want to feel like you're like
I'm higher than anyone else. I've never put myself above anyone, and I'm always treating everyone equally, and I feel I'm equal to everyone.
I loved it because before the podcast, I said to you how I was going to introduce you, and you said no, Frankie, don't do that because I don't like that. I was going to introduce you as the king of Melbourne bounce, right? And you said, mate, I don't want to be the king because I don't want you to put me on the pedestal that I'm looking down on other people in the industry and I love that taught me something. Taught me something, right? You taught me something right there. It's like, okay, I get it. Do you know what I mean? Because you want to be one of these people that fucking puts out this banging stuff, but you almost want to be like
I'm with everyone else,
but with people rather than over people. And I love the fact that you've had that realization.
That's exactly how I go by things, and I got taught by that from my mum.
Yeah,
she always told me never put yourself above anyone else, no matter what. Of the old Tower of Babel story in the Bible, where they used to say they had this tower that they were building, calling it greater than God, and God just got rid of it, sort of thing. And it's like I see it with other people that are called the king of things. Weird things happen to them. I don't know. It's a bit weird, that one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I see what you're saying though. It's like if you put yourself on the pedestal, you're putting yourself in the position to get knocked off it.
Yes, and I've been called the king of things, and you know all this other stuff. I see it. I can't help someone saying that about me, but I don't believe that. Internally, so I'm not going to come crashing down, you know?
So yeah. And it's only when you believe you are internally.
That's exactly right.
Here's the thing. I think you can call you... I think you can let other people out sternly call you the king of...
I've accepted that.
You can accept that, but what you're saying is you don't go and ride the dick of being king.
Exactly, man.
Because otherwise,
I am that guy.
As soon as you say you are that guy, then you're open to coming crashing down. I
can't even say it as hypothetically. That's how much I don't agree. You know, don't see myself as that. But so when I'm coming into a public place, the anxiety that I get is just immense. I get this real... Because I want to give everyone the sort of time of day. I don't want anyone to think that I'm better than them in any way. And if someone's staring at me, I don't want to just look the other way and be he's staring at me. Yeah, you know, I want to be like... But
in the same tone, you want to be able to go out to...
I want to go to these places and be social.
And you want to socialise with your friends and that.
And I can't.
But you don't. Well, it's not that you can't. It's just that you've got to change your perspective of how you're looking at it.
I just need I'm actually really good at it.
After this podcast, I'm going to help you change the perspective of how you're looking at this because I think this is something internally that has to be solved first and foremost because it can't ever be the external.
No. It's all internal.
It's all internal.
And I've gotten better at it, to be honest. But sometimes I just get shut down.
But I do understand from your point of view is that the fact is like the last thing you want when you've played festivals, done photos and this, that and the other, is to go to Burley Pav for a few drinks with your friends and a little meal and maybe a burger and chips, right? And then have like 1,600 people fucking rock up at the table wanting your time and this, that and the other. Because it feels like very energy draining because you just want to live in the moment of being around your friends and be present.
That's right.
But you feel...
But I'm not Chris Hemsworth.
But you feel obligated.
Fucking oath. I want to give everyone the time of day.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge... not everyone recognises me. But one or two, and then it starts this snowball effect and other people looking over and wondering. And then, but I never see myself as a celebrity. So even when that does happen, I'm very flattered and
and that's why you respond and you give and you do
give so much.
You give so much, but in life, sometimes if you give too much but leave yourself empty, it's kind of like you've defeated the fucking object. You have to know, you have to always be willing to give people value, which is what we're trying to do right now. But it's like, so here's how I see it. It's like, I'll have a conversation with you that brings out all these topics, right? And then it's recorded, and then that recording gives my value and your value to the world thousands of times without me and you having to repeat it. Do you see what I'm saying?
How good's that?
So I'm basically like, I'm automating the process of giving value. So I'm giving value to thousands of people. You're giving value to thousands of people. But the energy is consumed once. So we don't have to then repeat it. We can always refer people to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're still helping them.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that's the way I see it happening for you. It's like you're gonna have to find a way to be able to refer people to other things so that they can get the value that you're trying to bring to the world, but without you always having to give one by 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 one. You can't do that because it leaves you empty. Then you can't be creative. You cannot be the creative man that you want to be.
Sucks all the energy out of you
because you just left yourself wide open to it.
Yeah, it's like when I have meet and greets before shows. If there's like 15 or 20 people, it's overwhelming.
Yeah,
you know, and it really does take my focus off things. It's funny, before a show I go really quiet because I'm thinking about what I'm going to do and all the tracks I'm going to play and how I'm going to mix them because, and you're right what you're saying. It does take it out of you.
Talk to me about playing like Ultra and that.
Yeah, nuts.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I get up there and I'm a different person. I've got all the confidence in the world.
Which one was better?
They're different. I haven't played Tomorrowland for a few years. I was meant to play last year. Ultra in Melbourne. I mean, in Australia, I don't play the Miami one.
Yeah.
I play Summerburst in Sweden and Airbeat 1 in Germany, Open Beats in Germany, Never See in Romania, and Nameless Festival in Italy. These are my festivals that I find most like Tomorrowland. All right?
Yeah.
Great.
It's just because the reason why I brought that one up is because everyone
says Tomorrowland and Ultra.
Yeah.
It's a brand.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Tomorrowland is incredible. It's an amazing festival. It is.
It looks like a production.
Nuts. It's a production.
It's a production.
It's an EDC in.
I just thought Tomorrowland would have been the biggest one that you'd probably.
Everyone says Tomorrowland, Ultra, EDC.
Yeah.
They're not my main festivals.
No.
They're not where I get the most love.
So what is the festival then that you love the most that vibes on your level?
Summerburst, man, in Sweden.
And that's in Sweden.
Yeah, because
I can't think why. Go on.
Look, honestly, it's because I get the response I have from what I do in Sweden, and Italy and Germany. People are there to see me, and I've got a wide range of people that want to see me play. And so I do get good set times, right?
Yeah.
Main stage at a good set time.
What's the set time?
Oh, it would be from either 5 or 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., sundown. That's the peak set time.
Yeah.
It used to be the finished, like the closing set's the set.
No.
These days, I don't know.
Yeah.
So they're my best sets. Tomorrowland I'll play a side stage at fucking 2 p.m. Like it's not, and there's a few Aussies there. Like,
it's not going to light you up. Yeah.
No, it's not my real go-to. So I have a real sense of love and passion for these certain festivals. And I've grown such great relationships and and connection with these people that run the places. It's beautiful,
it's
man.
all in the relationship.
It's an amazing thing.
Brooklyn was telling me about how often you'd be amazed at how many people that are playing the headline and
they're best mates with the bucket.
Not just that aren't getting paid.
Oh yeah, they pay to get up there.
Yeah,
the same with a lot of things, man. Like,
give me your insights into this.
Well, I've never paid to play anywhere.
But you're telling me there's top artists out there that pay to play.
There has been rumours. I've never seen the transaction, but people are really going head to head with everything. Even DJ Mag, bro. Like, it's all a big business thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? And because they've got relationships with that person, it's the same with like the people of Tomorrowland manage artists, right?
Yeah.
Artists that may not have a massive following or be wanted to see, but they get main set times.
It's mad, isn't it?
Because they're building that artist up and they own the festival. So that's how it works. It's frustrating. So for someone that's out there that's just wanting to make music and get somewhere with your music, you're going to have to get your music to do the talking.
Yeah.
But if you know someone that owns a festival and you're a DJ, you can get big easily. But that's inorganic. It's inauthentic. You're not going to feel any good doing that. It's how I feel with like people that get their music written for them. Good on them, you know. But they're putting a song out that they didn't create themselves. Yeah. So I don't know how they feel about that. I would feel like shit. I'd feel like a fraud, right?
Yeah.
But that's just me.
For
them, it's different.
I was talking to my friend about an artist the other day that's in a similar niche to you, and I didn't realize that they didn't create their own music, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Like,
how do you sleep at night?"
I'm like, and my mate was explaining to me that their music was written by this person, and this person's just a face.
Yes,
I'm like,
that's the business,
and I'm like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, are you fucking serious?"
Dead set, man. It's been going on forever.
I did not fucking know that.
Were you kidding?
I could literally get you to write me tracks, and I could be like fucking some top fucking guy who just fucking presses buttons. Then basically,
brother, I'm sorry to say this, but it's a large percentage of the biggest artists in the world.
Wow.
They may have an input, right?
Wow.
But for me, I make every single inch of every element of the song. Unless there's a vocal. Of course, the vocalist is going to do it and write the lyrics.
Yeah.
But you will see on some song credits, there's 12 or 14 different people that are on that song credit.
So, Elliot, example, he wrote the track for... Fucking hell, what was that? He wrote a track, he sent it to... I think he sent it to Kylie Minogue or something. She turned it down. He sent it to...
The top lines. It's just a top line.
Yeah.
And then anyone can sing it. And then they put it out as theirs. That's just how it is. And
he sent it to someone else. They had a number one with it in America. What was that guy's name? I can't remember. But yeah,
it's like, about if the person's likable.
Yeah.
Right. It's not about. I mean, it is a percentage of it is, but like if you're just a really likable person, even someone that's funny, and you put out a song, and people love it, but you didn't write it. It's because people like you. Not because they like your music. I don't know. It's a funny one, man.
It's a weird one.
That's why I just keep to myself.
I
just do my own thing in my own lane.
Yeah.
Know what I'm doing is different, and everything's done by me.
Mate, I'm super pumped because there's so much personal growth that
from
I know
this.
From this.
Sure.
I've seen within you. I know you're going to do big. I know you're going to go to a different fucking level now. I fucking know that for you.
Oh man, I
want
hope so. But man, another thing I need to touch on is with my tracks, I actually get help mastering the songs, and they tweak. Like I've got my guy, he helps me tweak the sounds to make them sound bigger and fatter and more crispier. Because in the engineering side of things, I'm not an expert, so I send the stems to an expert engineer. And he goes through every stem and he tweaks the frequencies to make them work better together, and then boosts them at the end with a master because this guy's a freak, man. Without this guy, my songs wouldn't be as big sounding. They wouldn't be big sounding as big sounding. I do master some myself, and and mix some. I do most of the mix down myself as well.
But you put in the main elements together.
No, I make the whole song.
Yeah.
But like when you give it to someone to master, they just put a few extra sort of amps.
It's like Salt Bay. It's like Salt Bay.
It's like putting salt.
They just put salt on the meat, mate.
It's hard to explain.
You lay the meat down. I'll explain it to people. You lay the meat down. You prepare the steak. You cook the steak.
I did everything.
You cook the steak. The steak's fucking perfect. But now someone just needs to slice that shit up
and put the salt on it so it tastes nice. It's fun. It's weird.
Just add that last little bit of flavour.
That's it. It's just making
or just bring the flavour out of the meat that you've created.
And you know what, man? You wouldn't even notice the difference if I showed you my mastered track and then my mixed engineer's master track. It's the same. You won't notice it, but I'll notice that maybe the engineer's version's got more low end to it, or more grunt, or more volume.
But those 1% differences in the track,
everything,
every fucking thing,
and it gives me more confidence in the song because I've given it to someone else's ears, and they've gone, okay, this needs to be more low.
And this is a fucking expert at what they do.
I know, and he's such a legend, and we love what we do, and we go back and forth with each other. And
but he fully understands
how I want it.
Yeah, because he loves to put that final touch.
That's
on
exactly
your music.
right. But I do make every element of the song.
Beautiful, man, beautiful. I mean, mate, we have talked for a good time now. Yeah, but the one key thing, or the one key question I want to ask you before we leave this podcast, as I think we've dropped so much fucking value on people today. I hope if you're listening to this, your mind's been blown by the real Will Sparks, because this is the real Will Sparks that you got right now.
Yeah, it doesn't get realer.
But the key question I have for you is like this, right? And I ask people this. It's like, if you had to check out tomorrow, you couldn't leave any music behind, or this, that, and the other. Like, what is the one thing that you'd tell people that's going to help them move the needle in their life? Like, going to really fucking move it for them. What's your one piece of advice in that element?
You're just so worthy to do good things, and you need to just follow your heart, man. I know it's cliche, but just believe that you can do it, because you're not just anyone. You're not just another percentage of the population. You're going to change the world. And if you really believe it, you can't say it. You need to have belief in yourself. So don't hold back, because now's the time to change it up. And don't put yourself in a position where you have to go broke. You know, still work a job. Do your hobby on the side.
Be humble enough to work a job.
For sure. Work anything to get by. This is survival mode. This is life, and it's fucking tough. And it goes through times where it's easier, but you're always going to have lessons thrown at you. Take those lessons. Take them like they're the best thing that ever happened to you, because you will work out later on that they are.
Fuck, I love it.
Is that all right?
Yeah, mate. I think that's fucking... honestly, mate, I think it's beautiful, because it's just real, mate. It's just real stuff.
You.
And I'll put all the links to all the socials and your website and all that in the bio. But I'm fucking super pumped for this podcast to drop and to get to people's ears today, because I know that we've articulated Will Sparks in his true light. Yeah. And I just want to thank you for coming and just being your authentic self, because that is all I wanted.
Thank you for letting it out.
I wanted to show. All I wanted to do, mate, is just showcase you, the real you, and the man. Like, you're not just about dropping beats. You're not just about
showing everyone
you playing. You're not just about, you doing arms in the gym or nothing. There's way more to you than all of that, and we've showcased that, and I appreciate you turning up today and doing it, mate. Absolutely fucking legend for doing that. And can I just say, guys, I hope this has hit your ears. You've resonated with what Will said. You've resonated with some of what I've said. If you do, send me and Will a message. Reach out to us on Instagram. Let us know that what's resonated with you and what you've vibed with. Go on to Apple, drop a review, drop a YouTube comment. Do these things. I would appreciate it. I fucking hope you've got as much out of this as I have been sat here with this man. We're going to go get some food. And any last things to say?
If you want any advice, send a message. And if it's not to me, to someone else that you look up to or want anything from, send them a message. Instagram is
you'd be surprised.
Crazy platform. Everyone's looking through their DMs, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's it, man. Much love. Thank you so much for today. And guys, like and subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Frankie Lee Podcast.